Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our live training of eIMMIGRATION. My name is Vanessa Vargas. On behalf of Cerenade, I want to thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to learn how to easily create your own intake forms. Please let me know if you can hear me fine. I am sharing a PowerPoint presentation that you can download. If you click on the Go to Webinar panel on the menu, it should say handouts, and you can download the PowerPoint so that you can later click on the links and continue learning more about all these features. Okay, like I said, today we're going to learn how to easily create your own intake forms. I'm going to try to give you as much as I can in 1 hour. We are recording this session anyway, so you can always watch the video when you go to the YouTube channel. If you haven't done it, we have a YouTube channel. It's called Cerenade Academy. And we ask that you please subscribe to the channel. This is where we upload all these webinars, the recordings, and this is where we also release videos when we have a new feature. Okay? All right, well, let's continue. Like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know. All right, so let me show you what the client versus case profile is. Let me first log in into the case worker portal. All of you have access to a case worker portal, but not everyone has access to the administrative portal. And the way that you can test or check if you do is if you click on the top right corner where it says settings, it should say administrative tools. Okay, if you administrative tools is because your supervisor, whoever gave you access to the system, hasn't allowed the admin. So please let them know that you can have access to the administrative portal because you're going to need the access to customize intake forms. Okay. All right, I do want to show you what the difference is between client versus case profile because a lot of people get confused. Sometimes they think that when you create an account for a contact or a client, they, especially if you're new and you haven't received your training, they expect to see forms right here. And it's not going to work like that. You have one contact profile, which could have technically more than one case. Okay, so once you create the contact, you need to create the case in order for you to search or access the forms. And let me show you the difference. If I access a case, it actually tells me the process type, the case number, and I can still click on the name of the person. And this is the difference. The contact profile has all the data, and the case profile has the forms where you can populate that data. Okay, I hope that helps. It was a recurring question that we wanted to make sure we clarify. Creating custom fields. This is important for you to know too. The system has fields obviously that are standard, such as first name, last name, social security number. Those are considered system fields, but you can create your own custom fields where you can capture additional information like how did you hear about the system, or what service do you need, are you tech savvy, things like that. You can create as many views or categories to separate these custom fields, like this one. This is a category, what's the permanent resident card info, and this is the actual field, the custom field, the date when they became lawful permanent residents. So I'm going to show you how to create these custom fields because you're gonna maybe include those in your questionnaires. For example, what's the name of the country for you, under which you're applying for TPS, and your clients or leads or prospects can respond to your questionnaire, and this information not only stays in the system, but you can run reports or even transfer it to the actual forms. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions at this point. I would like to ask you, before we move on to show you how to create custom fields, how do you prefer to capture your client's data? All right, thank you for those who have voted. I'm going to close the poll. It looks like the majority of you said I plan to enter the data directly into the profile, and that's great. I want to show you what the alternate view is really quick, because you probably have clients that are not tech savvy and you want to capture the data yourself, like you said. So instead of using these fields where you would normally enter the data, and by the way, always save your changes before you move to a different section. Always save your changes. Okay. The alternate view is over here on the right hand side on the menu. I'm gonna call it the sidebar menu. Okay. If I click on the alternate view and I access the questionnaires, for example, let's say that I want to use this basic standard general information for individual client questionnaire. Well, instead of me sending it to my client electronically, I just want to open it and ask the questions. And here's where I can make corrections. For example, let's say the correct date of birth was July 7th. And I just click save, and the system will update the data, and then it will populate. And by the way, every time that you click save, and right now it says please wait. Wait until you see this green bar. The form was saved successfully. Okay. That way you can know you can now switch to a different questionnaire, such as the history of address or employment history. Anyway, so these are the basic standard questionnaires that all of you should have access to. Another question that I get constantly is, I want the questionnaire in Spanish. And we do have these questionnaires, the background questionnaires, like you see here, client background for I-485, A21, and 400. Well, these questionnaires don't come in different languages unless you make a copy and enable the translations, okay? I'm gonna show you that today. The other questionnaires are available in different languages. And I mean like the standard questionnaires. All right, so let me show you how to create those custom fields in case you guys want to capture additional information from your prospects or clients. I'm gonna wait until the screen loads on your end because I think there's a delay. I don't know what's going on. All right, let me know. Okay, here we go. So these are the custom fields that I was referring to. And in order for me to create a new custom field, I need to click the top right corner where it says settings. And then it should say administrative tools. In fact, I always right click and open in a new tab so that I can multitask. I'm gonna put it right here. So the administrative portal is just for customizations, all right? You're not gonna create cases or deal with clients or like, no, this is just customizations. All the changes that you think of it, you're like your back office. Okay, so once you're here and it says administrative home, click on client custom fields. It's on the first row. Client custom fields. Now remember, I am recording this training. Unfortunately, I can't really go at your own pace if you're trying to do it at the same time as I am doing it. I really don't recommend it because you're gonna feel lost. It's better for you to just relax, learn the concept, and then later when you watch the video, then you can pause it and then do the exercise hands-on. Like, you know, it's easier in the way because you're probably gonna feel that I'm going too fast for you if you're trying to do it at the same time as I am doing it. The other thing is we offer private trainings. If you're interested, just contact our sales team department so that they can give you the information. The fee is 100 per hour if you want a private training. All right, so let's continue. This is where I need to add a custom field. So I'm going to click on the left button on the top where it says add client custom field. And if it's an individual client, obviously if it's a business client as well, you can select both. The name of the actual field is more technical. Therefore, as it says here, it can only contain alphanumeric and underscore. For example, I could ask the question, when did you last arrive in the US? when was the last arrival date. So my custom field name, the technical name, cannot contain spaces. So I'm just going to do underscore to separate the words. And the title of the field could be, when did you last arrive in the US, or like, so that will be the actual title. And the name, sorry, the type of field would be obviously a date. Okay. So I'm gonna close this because I'm gonna show you examples like other dates of birth that you have ever used. And as you can see here, the name, the technical name was just other underscore DOB underscore used. All right, so now you have an idea of creating custom fields. And again, the custom fields could be for you to capture text, numbers, dates. The Boolean option is that little square. Let me give you an idea for that. A Boolean type would be like this one. The actual custom field was phone or text message or email. So that's it. I created the little Boolean, which is a square where you check the option. And then I group these custom fields into a category called what's the best way to contact you. So my clients or prospects can select any option available, and then I know how to contact them. So that's a Boolean type. The other option would be obviously a drop-down menu, and lastly, a larger text area. Okay. Alrighty, well, let's continue. Now that you know how to create custom fields, the next option will be create a category. Like I said, I'm going to group them in different categories, such as what's your permanent car info and permanent resident card. So within the category, which is permanent resident card info, I grouped these three custom fields, which was the date they became a lawful permanent resident, the green card number, and then this for e-payment. So anyways, so now if I need to add another field under this category, I can just click here, add client custom field, and I'll just search for right here. I'm gonna search green card, although that one I already have. Anyway, so you get the idea of it, what the expiration date, but it's technically already, I like this one, residence card expiration date. Here we go. So now I know the card number, the date they became lawful permanent resident, and the expiration date for the green card. Anyway, so it's really, really easy. You just create the custom field, create the category. Now, you can group different categories into different views. Like mine says immigration, it could be family law, it could be whatever other categories you guys want to use. I actually have a marketing category or more like customer service where I want to know, are they tech savvy? What's the best way to contact them? So you can group, like I said, different categories into different views. So these are the views. All right. The other thing you can do with custom fields really quick is group the ones that you truly need on a daily basis, like right away, just like these system fields like first name, last name. If you want to show custom fields here under this quick section or quick area will be, let me show you. In the administrator portal on the right hand side, there's a section called System Client Custom Fields. So if you click there, it's going to show you general info. If you click on general info, it's going to allow you to add or remove custom fields for that general info section. Okay, so if I just click add client custom field and say, hey, I want to know when did they arrive in the US? When was the date of last arrival? Let me just select that, save. And now if I refresh my screen, under the general info page, if I scroll down under custom fields, it's going to be here. When did you last arrive? Unfortunately, these custom fields cannot be organized within this section. If you want to see that, then just go to the right-hand side under custom fields. And like I said, you can easily find them here by views. All right, so let's continue with our presentation. We've talked about creating custom fields. I want to show you how to map these to forms, meaning, hey, I created a custom field and there's a form that's asking that question, when did you last arrive into the US? Well, how about if I connect my custom field, now that I have data from the client, and I want to transfer that data into the form. That's what mapping means, okay? And the way you do it is over here. I'm still here in the administrative portal, by the way, and I go to File, Form Custom Data Population. If you are taking notes, like me, I love taking notes during trainings, just write down Form Custom Data Population. Or even better, just download my PowerPoint presentation because I put the link for you. Anyway, so the way that I connect my custom field to the form is by adding the form, let's say N400, and I'm going to select the form. This is a new version of the N400. And the thing is, when there's a new version of the form, you have to remap your fields. That's unfortunate, but we can control that. So here on page 2 is asking if you are a lawful permanent resident, provide the date you became a resident. So it's orange because I've already mapped it, but let me unmap it so that you guys can see the whole process. Let me delete. Okay. All right. So when you open the form, again, I just go to the field that I want to map or connect. So I click on that. You can tell because it turns green whenever you click on it. And there's an icon here and an arrow that's coming out of a box. So just click on that one. And we're going to connect a client custom field, which is the, I think it's called PR as permanent resident date. And I'm going to select the region, which belongs to the alien. It could be employer, petitioner, depending on the type of form. And then just click OK. And there's no save button, just close the form. All right, see here, when there's a newer version of the form, it will tell you newer version available. So keep in mind, again, if there's any mapped fields on this old version, you have to re-add the new one and remap them, okay? All right, so let's see what happens when I open. I'm gonna quickly open the N400 because I wanna show you guys the way that it looks like on a form. Give me one quick second. Let me make sure that my client is the alien and he's the, well, I'm going to unlink him anyways. Okay. All right. So let's go forms N400. Now remember, I already have that data, well, I should, on the custom field for the PR date. See, yeah, it's populating. See how it looks like purplish? It's because I've mapped it. Anytime that you open a form and it looks purple, it's because you've mapped a custom field to the form. So maybe you've seen that before and you didn't know, and one of your administrators have done the work for you. But it's a lot easier because if you think about it, now you can create a questionnaire, ask the question, hey, when did you become a legal permanent resident? And then once they respond to that, if it's mapped, it will transfer to the form. All right, so let's close this. Now you guys know how to map the custom fields that you created. Let's go over how to create an intake form. Okay, so going back to the administrator portal, let me know if you guys have any questions at this point. I'm gonna ask that. Okay, so all of you said no, you may continue. So if you do have questions, just message me. That's the reason why I'm here. I'm a real person. Okay, so let's learn how to create a questionnaire. First of all, again, go to the administrator portal, click on custom form templates, and you want to click on the right-hand side. Let me make sure that you guys can see my screen again. Yes. Click on intake forms. Don't click on questionnaires. Someone asked a question, what's the difference between these, like, questionnaires or intake forms or editable, HTML forms? I'm going to go over those later to show you how to share the actual form so that it's probably easier. But keep in mind that if you share a form so clients can edit, the data stays on the form. It doesn't transfer. It's not going to transfer the data back to the profile, just like we see that with intake forms. Intake forms are the ones that you can create, modify, customize, versus questionnaires are the ones that our developers will create for you. Okay, so if you want them to create a questionnaire, if you have done maybe something similar on a Word document or PDF, and you don't want to go through the process of creating your own intake form, we do have a professional service where our developers can create those questionnaires for you. Alrighty, well, let's talk about the difference between these two. Intake forms that are in the system obviously are the ones that you can modify if you want to make a copy. Let's say I want to make a copy of the background questionnaire for the N400. Hold on, let me see, make you can see screen. There's a delay. Okay, I'm waiting for it to load on your end. I think there's a delay on my connection. Here we go. Okay, I'm just highlighting the questionnaire that I'm gonna copy. So on the left, you click on select copy. This allows you to make a copy of this particular questionnaire that we have in the system because, like I said, these questionnaires that say client background don't have the translations enabled. When you click on translations, you're gonna notice, again, it's disabled by default. So what you need to do is just click enable and pick what language would you like to translate to. Let's say I want Spanish and Portuguese. Well, if I click review, because it says needs review. Okay, let me wait until this. Okay, I'm gonna report this to our team. Let me refresh, do it again. Okay, I'm gonna try again. System N400 copy. Your screen is probably still stuck on the please wait. So I'm basically just repeating the steps that I was working on. Okay, here we go. All right, so what I did, I clicked on review so I can go over and make sure that everything looks fine. And it translated all these have you ever questions. And at the bottom, you just click on submit. Do the same thing for all the languages that, or like I don't speak Portuguese, and then just click end on my keyboard and it sends me all the way at the bottom. It's faster. And then just click submit. But it looks like you guys are still on the other, let me see. All right, so take a moment. If you have any questions at this point, send me a chat. You can chat me through the GoToWebinar window while I wait until this loads. See, I hit end on my keyboard and I was able to just click submit faster than scrolling through the whole thing. All right, so basically that would be my questionnaire for the N400. I'll just call it translations available, or, I don't have to add all the languages if I don't need them. Maybe, I don't know, let's say I'm just gonna add one more, Chinese. I'll click review. I hit end, click submit, and that's it, and save. So now I have a client background N400 questionnaire with translations available. And here in the description, I could say something like this questionnaire is available in different languages, blah, blah, blah. If not, I'll just save and close. That's if you want to make a copy of a system intake form. Okay, let me do it one more time. I'm going to go to system intake form. This time I want to show you the general information for individual client. Okay, now I highly recommend that you guys use 2 monitors. If you have 2 screens, it's a lot easier, faster, and better for you to just copy paste or drag and drop. So If you don't have a second monitor, I highly recommend you invest in one. It's a lot easier. All right, so here's the general information questionnaire, a basic one that has all the details that we need. I'm gonna make a copy again. I'm not gonna call it general individual. I'm just gonna call it, for example, welcome or initial intake form. Very simple. Well, it has all these headers or description and fields. I probably don't need everything. Like, for example, I don't need their fax numbers. I'm just going to remove. How do I delete that? On the right hand side, there's a delete button. So I'm going to click on that one to delete. I also get to modify or edit with a little pencil. So maybe I don't want to call it general information. I'm just going to call it welcome and save it. So every time that you click on the pencil, you modify the data, and then you save it or delete. By the way, be careful with that one, because if you delete, there's no like, are you sure you want to delete? It's like, it's gone. All right, so on the left-hand side, this is where you guys can add additional questions. For example, I want to ask a yes or no question, and my yes or no question goes all the way at the bottom. If you notice, it says number 60, but I don't want that question there. I'm going to remove that number and I'm going to put number 3. And my question is going to be, is this the first time you contact this office? And they're going to, if they say yes, great. My follow-up question will be, okay, how did you hear about us? So that we can track for CRM, And no, this is not the first time that I contact your office. Well, great. What's your client number or case number? Anyway, so you get the idea. And then I'm just going to save it on the right-hand side. Because I picked number 3, it sends that question to number 3 right here. So the other thing you can also do is on the left, anytime that you guys see 6 dots on the left, you can drag and drop. So I can drag this one and put it wherever I want. Drag and drop. Okay. Now, don't add the signature until you're ready with the questionnaire. So that would be the last thing that you can add. If you guys want to create some sort of like contract or agreement, you can add a signature so that they can sign electronically. But again, don't add that until you're done with the questionnaire. The other thing you can also do is add repeated sections. What are the repeated sections? Well, how about I want to include what's your previous address history? Well, maybe I want to specify we only need the last 5 years. Right? So you can specify out of the previous addresses, we just need the 5 last year, or I want to add the marriage history, employment, education history, abroad trips. Now, for example, for client children, let's say I first want to ask regarding the parents or spouse. Well, under templates, you can see those templates, but I don't want to ask regarding the parents. I don't want to ask every single thing. I do want to ask for the parent U.S. resident and abroad residence address, but I don't need to know every single thing about the parents. So I'm just going to pick the basic fields like birth, country, birth date, and pretty much that's it. And that's it. I'm going to click add. So I'm going to keep it very simple. Same thing with like or children information. If I go to repeated section under client children, I want to ask if they have children. Well, maybe again, the children information, I don't need their maiden name. I don't need their title or preferred name, status, or, just keep it very simple. The other thing you can also do under layout is add headers, descriptions, like, separate questions by phrase or a line. You can even add a submit button at the end. And the options are adding a logo or numbering your questions. Now, let me know at this point if any of you have any questions at this point before I move on to the next stage, which is mapping. Because we talked about adding stuff or removing stuff, which is pretty simple, but now I'm going to cover how to map it or connect it to the actual system. Now, one thing that you should know is obviously you can preview the questionnaire and see, all right, well, so far this is my questionnaire with my logo. It says welcome. It has these questions that I've included. But what if I want to add more or remove again, close the preview, and this allows you to see how the client will look at the questionnaire. So maybe I want to add some sort of like spaces or headers, descriptions, right? So you can continue adding them on the left. Some of these, like, for example, I want to ask a list of what options do we have here? That, a list of countries, relationship types, languages. You have a lot of options for lists. Or there's like a multiple choice, a single choice field, right? Text, it could be a larger area or a short text. So it's important that you get familiar with the options that you see here, because when you create your questionnaires, then okay, if I want to ask for an email address, I know it's a text field. Okay. All right, let me delete these ones that I've just added as examples. And I'm going to show you now how to map the questions to the system. Okay. So it says right here, I've got 3 unmapped fields. Okay. The other thing is, of course, it's orange, so it's highlighted for you to know which are the unmapped fields. Okay. It's important that you map them, because if you don't, then it stays in the limbo pretty much. It doesn't save into the system, so you can lose the data. So it's important that you map them. Again, mapping means connecting your custom field to the actual system. Now remember, earlier we talked about creating, let me add one here. Earlier we talked about creating custom fields, right? So I showed you that in the administrator portal, there's a section for client custom fields. And I created custom fields because I need to ask questions like, hey, is this the first time that you contact us? How did you hear about us? Right? So now that I created my questionnaire and I asked the question, it's time for me to connect this question with that custom field. So I'm taking you back to the questionnaire, and I'm going to click on category. Where in the system is this question at? Is this the first time that you contact this office? It is not under general info or biographic info. This is a custom field that the client, created. So client custom fields, and then I'll just select the name of the custom field. Remember, it was more like a technical name. So my question was saved as first time here. And then the second question, how did you hear about us? I call that one source. What's the source of this potential client or lead, the prospect? Was it word of mouth? Was it, social media? How did you hear about us? And then what's your client number in case it's a returning client? They should have some sort of like customer number or case file number. And that's how I can keep track of a returning client as well. If I want to make this a required question, I want to make that over here on the right hand side. I want to mark this one, required. Maybe the name too. What's your first, middle, last name, right? So let's see if I want to add a translation. I don't want to show all these languages. I'm going to disable the translation so they go away. And then I enable it again so I can pick whatever I want. Maybe this initial intake form, I just want it in Spanish. So I can preview the translation. Bienvenido, instrucciones, perfect. Everything looks fine. So I want to review. Remember, end, it goes all the way at the bottom and click submit. Now I have this initial intake form available in both English and Spanish. I can still preview it if I need to add more, delete, remove, and then if I click save, I can save and continue, which I recommend if you guys are working with a questionnaire. If you think you're going to take too long because it's probably a long questionnaire, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you just save and continue instead of losing your data, okay? Because it has happened when clients leave it unattended for too long and they lose their progress. So avoid that headache just by saving and saving and continuing, or if you're done, just save and close. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I want to show you how to create a link on your website or social media for you to put that questionnaire available online. How do I do that? Well, if you go to your caseworker portal, click on create questionnaire, and this is where you're going to click on. It says anonymous questionnaires. Let me wait until you get here. I go to create questionnaire and I choose anonymous questionnaire, which allows you to put a hyperlink on your website or your social media pages, or simply maybe you just want to copy paste it into a bulk email. For example, hey, let's create a welcome initial questionnaire just like we did right now, so that anyone who clicks on the link, they don't have to wait until someone is available to take their call or take their info. They can pretty much create their own profile. They can translate this form into a different language. They'll simply enter their first and last name, phone in the US, or email address and confirm that they are not a robot. Just enter the code for secure reasons, right? They need to verify their identity. And they'll just continue to complete that intake form that we created. So if you haven't done it, I highly recommend that you test this or try playing with it so that you take advantage of it. I highly recommend it because I feel, again, that we're too busy and that there are probably prospects who want to talk to you and you don't want to miss that opportunity. All right. So that's the anonymous questionnaire. Like I said, I also have that link if you download my PowerPoint presentation so that you can click on the links and learn more. And as a reminder, this session is being recorded as well, so you can watch the video later. Now, what happens if I want to send these questionnaires? How do I send them to the client? Now that I created that questionnaire, how do I send it? Give me one just quick second because I want to make sure that I haven't sent the one. Actually, let's send the one that we just created. Okay, so I've got the contact profile for my client. She has a cell phone and an email address, or she prefers WhatsApp, either or. So I'm going to click on create on the left, top left, create questionnaire. Okay, I'm gonna wait because there's a delay, right? And then I'm gonna select an action. I'm waiting for the screen to load because I think there's a delay on your end. Probably my internet connection is slower than usual. Here's where I can select the actions such as, again, I want to send it to this person, to different client, I want to print it, or I want to put that link, right, the hyperlink. So if I print it, I just need to select the questionnaire. We call it initial intake. I probably have one. Yep, initial intake form. All right, so I'm just going to open, see where I can translate to Spanish. Oh, this is a different one, but it's, asking, describe the need for your immigration attorney. Anyway, so yeah, you get the idea. You can print it and give it to the client if they prefer to complete that. But I'm not going to print it. Today, I want to show you how to send it to the client. So I'm going to choose that option, send it to this person. And I'm going to select, how do I want, how do I send it? Via the client portal, or do I send the passwordless link? You have two options, okay? Usually the most popular one is this one, because you just want them to go ahead and click provide him the code and continue to complete the questionnaire. So that is a passwordless link, okay? This is where I can choose the preferred language as well. On the left, this is where I can choose by process or just keep it generic, no process, which shows me all questionnaires. And now I can scroll down to find my initial intake form. So I can preview it. I'm gonna select that one and click save at the bottom. You save. You can send more than one. It's the same password link for all the questionnaires that you want to select. I'm waiting for your screen to load. Let me know if you have any questions at this point. How do I notify the client? Again, like I said, you can send a text message, you can send an email, or you can copy to a clipboard. If you haven't done it yet, you open WhatsApp web on your browser. Just Google WhatsApp web. You take a picture with your phone to connect with a QR code, and that's how you connect your WhatsApp to your computer. So you can just copy from here, paste it in the chat for your client, right? Today I'm gonna send a text message. If you haven't subscribed to the text message, just contact our sales team. They can give you more information. It works with the US numbers only. So again, I'm just gonna send this message, but I don't wanna show my name. I'm just gonna keep it from the Law Office of Cerenade and click send. And you could set up a reminder, which I think you should. People prefer to send maybe once a week, like a text message or an email or both, and maybe stop sending it after 2 weeks or so. But yeah, you can schedule these reminders automatically so the clients can know I haven't completed that questionnaire. Once they complete, then we don't send more reminders, of course. All right, just close this window too. And let me know if you have any questions at this point. I'm going to show you what happens when the client logs in and she can access the questionnaire. If in case you send it via client portal, they can also, even if you send it via passwordless link, if the clients have access to the client portal, they also get to see it under the mailbox on the top left. All right, it's actually loading. Let me know if you have any questions at this point, please. Okay, here's a questionnaire. They're going to open it. This is probably not the one that I was working on earlier because it says test. I don't remember typing. Yeah, this is the other one. So describe your need for an immigration attorney, green card. See how I populated with data we already have? That's the beauty of it. Like, they don't have to start from scratch. If you type the information over the phone, when you had the client or the prospect over the phone or in front of you, it will show them what data you've captured. And if there's anything incorrect, they can fix it. And in fact, I'm going to fix a couple of these. Maybe the cell phone is incorrect. Maybe the social security number is also incorrect. Anyway, so once they complete the intake form, tell them they can make a copy if they want to print it before they submit. Because once they submit, they don't have access to it. And anytime a client submits a questionnaire to you, Cerenade will email you a notification. Okay, if you notice here, it also tells them, hey, you've got a new question, another questionnaire. You want to go to the next one, and they can continue to complete. This is actually a form they need to review. Okay, let me know again if you have any questions at this point. So you send the questionnaire, client open, modified, enter data, and send it back to you. What happens next? Now you're in your system because you've received that notification via email, and you log in into your caseworker portal, and you notice you've got 9 items on the top right corner. So we're gonna go into that mailbox, and yes, here's the name of the client, here's the name of the questionnaire, the dates, and you just need to open. I don't recommend that you blindly accept the questionnaire because you can lose data if clients decided to wipe the fields. So just go ahead and open, review, and then accept it. So another thing that I personally like about our technology is that Cerenade highlights the changes. So if you scroll down, just visually speaking, it's easier to identify the changes. Also, I can click on the field to see what was the original value. In other words, what do I have in the system currently versus what the client changed? Okay, you can accept or reject. So there's always an option to send it back. Someone's raising a hand, but I can't unmute you. So go ahead and type your question. Let me see. Yeah, so can you please send me your question? Because I can't unmute you. It's under the GoToWebinar. Click on the GoToWebinar and then it says chat or questions, I think, and send me your question. Because I don't want to lose this window. I'll wait for you to do that. Let me see. Any questions? All right, you should have received a message right now where I'm asking any questions, and then just respond with your question. There we go. Thank you. Hi, can I add a field or a mapping to a specific questionnaire? Yes, you can. For example, the asylum questionnaire requires religion and language, and either I can, yeah, you can just go to your admin. You're gonna click on custom form text. Remember, you can modify an existing questionnaire. So we do have in the system those asylum questionnaires. So I think it's I-589, right? So click copy, and I think religion and the other question was how many languages are there? These are the languages that we have: Arabic, Chinese, French, Japanese, Korean, Persian, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish. Now, if you guys need to add more languages, it is doable. Just contact our sales team for more information. What was I saying? Oh yeah, adding the language. You're welcome. Adding the language and religion field to an existing asylum questionnaire. Okay, so you're going to, I believe it's like because for religion, should it be one single choice or multiple choice or text? I don't know. The thing is, we already have, let me double check. We should have under the general information, I don't see a religion or, well, we do have preferred language. So let me use that one. The other option would be a religion custom field, which I believe I have created. Our team has created a one for religion. Yeah, let's use that one too. So it's a text. Okay, so make sure that it matches the same category. I can't do a drop down menu or, well, technically I could just do like a single choice or, so let me just use the same text. I'm not gonna put it under 21. I'm going to move that to number 3 and then ask what's your religion. Short text should be enough and save it. So if you look at number 3, it's right here, although probably I should have changed it to like go here, like what's your religion, or now remember you can add more like what's your name, what's your, right? So just to show you how to connect it to that religion custom field, just gonna click on client custom field and search religion. And if you want to enforce this question, make it required, just select the box and do the same thing for the language option. Again, I believe a multiple choice could be, the option, or you can do also text. Let me see. I wonder, No, you know what? It's under list. Okay, let me delete this. So if you want the language option, select language, select list. Um, what's your preferred language? And my list will be languages. So save, and let me show you how to map it. You're gonna click on, I think it's general info, and then choose prefer language. Yeah. Let me preview it so you can see. So here's where they can type their religion, and then at the bottom, this is where they can pick the language option. Although technically they can edit the value. Maybe you want to do a text instead of a list. The thing is, if you look at the way that we have languages, you can change that to list, like this list, or you can change it to edit and then type the language. So if you want to allow them to pick from a more generic one, then choose text and let them type it. So it populates whatever they type here. Okay. I hope that helps. Any other questions, please let me know. We still have a couple more minutes, and this is the reason why we're here. Now, for those who have to disconnect early or on time, I want to show you what the resources and support are. Yes, that was it. Okay, great. When is the next free live training? Great question. Um, if you go to your caseworker portal, I think it's also on the admin, but click on the question mark on the top right corner, and it's going to say training calendar. And then you're going to see the scheduling. Today's the last one for July. I don't know you guys, but I'm always surprised how fast time goes by, like each week. So goodbye July. Let's see what we have for August. So the next one we have for next Friday will be an overview of recently added features and enhancements. Then we're doing an admin portal settings and customizations training on the 16th of August. Just how to maximize your investment and use the system to its full potential, which I highly, highly recommend. We have a general overview and of like the basic steps and the QA on the 23rd. And lastly, billing, credit card processing, QuickBooks, all that on the 30th of August. So just click, just like today, you had to click on the link and register. That's it. Now, if you cannot attend and you want to watch the videos, just go to YouTube, search Cerenade Academy. Do me a favor and subscribe because we're almost there. We want to get to 2,000 subscribers. So just, you know, watch the video. We did one last week, I believe, for the client portal. We recently did a basic training for new users, etc. So this is where you can watch these recordings of the webinars. But the good thing about being here today is that you can ask questions, and that's, better. All right, so if you have questions, please message me. I want to cover the resources and support because yes, you will have questions once you start creating your own questionnaires. Trust me. How to get help from Cerenade. These are the resources and support options. So call us Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. This is our phone number, except on holidays. Or you can also email us 24/7. That's our email address, ecmssupport@cerenade.com. You may also click on the home screen option on the top right corner where it says technical support. Just send us a message. It might be faster, or send your feedback to developers. Anything you like or dislike, let us know. We have a user's guide that has a lot of videos and articles. So I also recommend that you bookmark that. Again, we do these free live trainings on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, except on holidays. We even have a podcast. You can also ask to be a participant. We have a Facebook forum page. I highly recommend that you click to join, request the permission. And of course, like I said, subscribe to the YouTube channel called Cerenade Academy. Now, did you know we have these sections like today. I've talked about the drag and drop. We have the ability to organize documents and folders, or we have e-filing where you can import data from the CBP website. So anyways, we have all these links available if you want to click and learn more. And like I said, these are the trainings for the month of August. So if you want, just download, click on handouts, and you should be able to download my PowerPoint presentation so that you guys can just click on the link faster. But now you know where to get the links from our website. And that's it. So please connect with us. Let us know if you guys have any questions. We're here to assist you. We hope that you learned something new today. I'm reading a question before you go. Is there a way to send the contract and request digital signature directly through eIMMIGRATION? Yes. So just create an e-tick form and add the signature option. Exactly. You just send it as a questionnaire via WhatsApp, via email. So the way you do that, you go into the questionnaire section as I explained earlier for, oops, let me close this. So go to the admin, click on custom form templates, intake forms. So I assume that you already have that contract, right, drafted. So just, you're gonna copy paste. That's why I recommend using two screens. So if you wanna use what we have in the system, by all means, just copy. I would definitely consider using this general information questionnaire. It has name, last name, you know, cell phone, or just those fields, name, last. If I wanted to use that instead of creating one from scratch, or disclosures or any items from my contract draft, and then I'll just call it agreement or contract. Again, you're gonna do the text, maybe number 1 or number 2, all the information. You could also do like layout, do a description for a large text that you wanna input. And sorry, let me move this to number 2. Okay, once you're done with the questionnaire, or not technically questionnaire, but once you are done with the contract, remember you can do a logo. And the last thing, so this is how it looks like so far, you know? So the last thing that you want to add will be under the question section, it says signature. So I'm going to put something like, please sign here. And review. They're going to review, read all the disclose, like all the items, complete the values, and at the end of the question, I keep saying question, at the end of the contract, they're going to click here to sign. So it's going to show that option, but make sure that you add the signature at the very end. Next question says, do you know when is the next e-filing training, especially for I-589? You know what? We don't have one scheduled, but let me show you something. If you go to the YouTube channel called Cerenade Academy, there's a little magnifier here. Let me make sure that yeah. So click there, search e-file. I know we have created a video specifically for that form. E-filing, let me just copy the link for you, and I'll just send it to you. All right, you guys should be getting that through the chat. So that's what I recommend for now. Just watch that one and call us if you have any questions. So the same thing for what we talked about for signature. I want to learn if there is any, this one, e-signatures. So let me send this one to you guys as well. Here we go. Perfect, got it. Okay, you're welcome. I'm glad. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, I'm going to stay here for a couple more minutes. If you have to disconnect, go ahead and have a great weekend. And thank you so much for attending this webinar today. If you have any other questions, Yeah, go ahead and just send me your question via the chat. I believe I just got one. Oh, this is awesome. You're welcome. Don't forget to download the PowerPoint before you go. You're welcome. Good to see you here. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye. All right, so we don't have any other questions coming in, so I'm going to end the session for everyone. Again, on behalf of Cerenade, thank you for joining us today and have an amazing weekend. Bye-bye.